Chapter 5: Execution. Now that you've delegated responsibilities to each board member and they've gone on to create the plan of action for their delegated areas, it's time to execute. This chapter is where the rubber meets the road, but the first step is in action. It's ensuring plans are ready for launch. Phase 1: From plan to action. 1. Building the plan. After delegating, your job as the leader is to work with each board member to ensure their plan is built according to the mission spelled out by the plan and to ensure they get all the support they need. This includes providing information, ideas, professional insights, and actual support to build out the plan. This is very important as some board members may not be experts in the areas delegated and may need help. Also, by working with these board members, you can ensure each plan is created within the time frame before the next board meeting, where the board member is expected to present it to the full board. You can also help board members prepare for their presentation by acting as their audience. Another important aspect of the plan is creating an execution template that defines who will execute what and clarifies the board's role in executing the plan. For example, setting monthly goals, providing supervision, reporting progress and setbacks. 2. Presentation. Each board member who has been delegated a task has to present the plan they created back to the board. This is to ensure every board member has a voice in the plan by providing their views. It also helps each board member know what's about to happen in that aspect of the organization. During the presentation, the presenter can call for support in areas where other board members can be involved, ask for approval for their budget so resources can be released, and get the entire board aligned. 3. Recruiting the execution team. The next step is to recruit the people needed to do the work. For example, for organizations yet to raise the funding to employ staff, you can start by recruiting volunteers and contractors. For example, when it comes to marketing, you and the board member to whom the task was delegated can recruit a social media manager and a content creator as volunteers and get a graphic designer as a contractor or even as a volunteer. As you begin to grow your fundraising capacity, you can switch to part-time staff and then full-time staff as you grow. 4. Developing your materials. Now that you've recruited a team, it's time to work with the responsible board member and the execution team to create the materials needed to execute. For marketing, you could create flyers, marketing content, videos, an organization portfolio, etc. You want to make sure these materials are created properly, branded with your logo and organizational colors, and that every member of the team has access to them to ensure successful execution. The execution kickoff meeting. Before launching into full execution, it is powerful to hold the formal execution kickoff meeting. This is a dedicated meeting where all the board members leads the final presentation, approve versions of their plan to each other. It ensures everyone is aligned, understands the interconnectedness of their work, how marketing is supporting fundraising, for example, and starts the execution phase with a shared sense of energy and purpose. This meeting signals the official transition from planning to doing. With all plans approved and the team ready to move on, there is one critical function that underpins all others and requires a special, unified effort from the entire board: fundraising. Fundraising execution. While each aspect of the organization is executed by different board members, fundraising execution requires everyone on the board to be involved, as the adequate funding of the organization is one of the core fiduciary responsibilities of board members. To get everyone involved, unlike every other aspect of the organization, the presentation of the resource development plan has to follow a different reading. This is because every board member has a role to play in executing it. The board member to whom the resource development planning is delegated needs to be a professional or one with experience in that field, as this is important to ensure they create a succinct resource development plan for the organization. While you, the leader, get to support just like you did in every other aspect, fundraising is an area you must dedicate 100% of your interest to, as this will ensure the success and sustainability of your organization. Building the resource development plan. A true fundraising system includes more than just a plan. It includes the core infrastructure needed to succeed. Before presenting it to the board member in charge of this area should develop a comprehensive resource development plan. This plan should answer the following key questions. Resource development goal. What is our financial goal for the year? Beyond money, what in-kind resources, for example, donated marketing materials, volunteer hours, pro bono services, do we need to achieve our mission? Where to find support? Market study. This is the most critical part of the plan. The goal here is not just to rely on what's on the board's existing network, but to proactively identify new prospects across your service area. This involves conducting a market study using professional prospect research tools like iWave or DonorScope. These tools help you find individuals, businesses, and foundations that have a proven giving history to organizations with a similar mission to yours. They help you identify thousands of potential supporters who have the propensity, affinity, and the capacity to give, allowing you to build a targeted list of new relationships to cultivate. Plan of care for donor segments. Who are our key donors? For example, the board's personal network, major gift prospects identified in the market study, individual donors, corporate sponsors, grant funders. What specific steps will we take to initiate and nurture relationship with these different segments? Resources and tools needed. What fundraising materials and platforms, donor management software, CRM, or marketing tools will we use to raise money, track relationships, and process donations? Fundraising budgets and calendar. What are the estimated costs for fundraising activities? For example, events, software, marketing. What are the key deadlines for campaigns, grant applications, and donor outreach throughout the year? How to present the resource development plan to the board. The presenter should send a copy of the resource development plan to every board member before the meeting so that they can look through it and see what has to be done to raise money needed to run the organization. During the board meeting, the board member in charge should emphasize the budget needed to execute the resource development plan and recommend ways to raise the money. The recommendation should include 100% board giving and money raised from mapping 5 to 10 relationships for each board member. You, the founder, have to make sure the board member to whom this responsibility was delegated understands the importance of this process before the meeting. And during the meeting, when the board member presents this option, you must step forward and make the first donation. Then you can say, for this plan to succeed, it needs to be powered by our collective belief. That starts right here with us. The single most powerful statement we can make to our community and to future funders is that 100% of our board is financially invested in this mission. To make that happen, I will be sending around the confidential pledge form. The goal is full participation, not a specific amount. It's a symbol of our unified leadership. Alongside that, I'll send a relationship mapping form to help us think about who in our network we can invite to join us on this journey. I'm excited to fill out both forms alongside all of you. This will help you introduce 100% board giving and relationship mapping without resistance, even if you didn't do so when bringing in these board members. You can find the 100% board giving pledge form and the relationship mapping form and all the fundraising scripts mentioned in the resource section of this book. The role of board members in fundraising execution. Your board members are not your everyday fundraising people unless they choose to join your fundraising team. But at the beginning, you're going to need them to raise money from their network. To do this, you have to equip and train them on what to say. As mentioned, I'll provide you with the email and call scripts they can use to ask for donations from people within their network in the resource hub of this book. Also, board members can come in handy to help you steward and advocate for the organization within their circle. By providing board members with access to transformational stories, they can share the transformation your organization is creating within their online and physical network, thereby attracting supporters to your organization. These are 3 main ways board members can support your organization's fundraising unless they choose to join your everyday fundraising team. Building out your fundraising system. With your resource development plan approved, building out your fundraising system is about bringing that plan to life. This involves recruiting the fundraising team according to the resource development plan, creating the materials and content needed to execute your fundraising, and having the board member to whom that responsibility was designated lead the charge while you provide them with every information, support, and resource they need to be successful. When raising money, it is important that you guide your board through what we call the relationship fundraising process. It starts with initiating relationship, nurturing those relationships before making the ask. This way, you build your know, like, and trust factor before making the ask, thereby reducing any resistance from the prospect. Different ways to initiate relationships include sending out introductory email, making an introductory call to share what your organization is working on, asking for advice, asking for feedback, engaging a prospect in a survey, sending out your organization portfolio, or providing free value in your area of expertise. Nurturing relationships includes inviting them for coffee, inviting them to programs, inviting them for an office visit, organizing awareness events, and inviting them, providing more value, seeking their feedback, or providing them with information. Making the ask is basically asking for their best gift. This can be done successfully when you've nurtured the relationship they now trust your organization. You can make the ask by asking questions like, would you like to join us in funding this program that creates this level of impact? Are you open to stepping up financially and taking on this project? Have you considered making a financial pledge to this program with this level of impact? To get the best result, you can also state that they can get what they can get in return when they give, whether it's satisfaction, a naming right, or exposure. The relationship fundraising process in action. A plan of care example. To make this tangible, here is a detailed example of what the plan of care could look like for your most important donor segment, major gift prospect. 1. Understand their mission. Reach out to prospect donors through a personalized survey, phone call, or in-person meeting. Ask thoughtful questions to uncover what causes matter most to them and how they envision creating impact in your field. 2. Listen and learn. Conduct surveys or informal conversations to gather their insights about your organization and the broader sector. What do they admire about your work? What changes or improvements would they like to see? 3. Acknowledge and appreciate. Follow up promptly to thank them for their input and share how their perspective are shaping your program. This shows you value their voice and are committed to listening. 4. Showcase their impact. Send a detailed portfolio, business plan, or program summary that reflects their input and demonstrates how their involvement can drive meaningful change. Make it clear their opinion matters and their support can make a difference. Invite them to experience your work. Extend personalized invitation to events, program visits, or exclusive networking gatherings. Let them see your mission in action and connect with others who share their passion. Deepen the relationship. Once they are engaged, schedule a one-on-one meeting to discuss their interests and explore how they can play a more significant role in your organization's success. Introduce them to leadership. Arrange a meeting with a board member, executive director, or program leader to solidify their trust and connection. This leader will steward the relationship moving forward, ensuring they feel valued and supported. Lastly, make the ask. When the time is right, confidently invite them to make their best gift. Frame the question around their passion and the impact they want to create, showing how their contribution will bring their vision to life. The evolving role from planner to coach. During the execution phase, your role as the founder fundamentally shifts. You're no longer the co-planner or the integrator of the plan. You are now the head coach, the chief accountability partner, and the primary source of encouragement. Your job is to empower the leaders you've put in charge. This means you must resist the urge to jump in and do the work yourself. Instead, your focus is on asking powerful questions during weekly check-ins. What support do you need from me to succeed this week? What's the biggest obstacle in your way, and how can we tackle it together? What progresses are you most proud of? This new posture, leading through others, is the ultimate test of your leadership. The key to scaling your organization's impact and the moment you truly resolve the founder's paradox. When plans change. A note on course correction. No strategic plan survives first contact with reality. Your marketing plan will hit a snag. A key volunteer will drop out. A funding source will dry off. This is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are in the real world. A plan is a compass, not a GPS. It gives you a direction, but you must be prepared to navigate unexpected terrain. When a part of the plan isn't working, don't panic or assign blame. Bring it back to the responsible board member and the board as a whole. Frame it as a problem to be solved. The initial approach for us isn't getting the results we hoped for. What have we learned, and what's our next best move? This builds a resilient, adaptable culture where the team learns to pivot, not panic. Conclusion. The system in motion. This chapter is where rubber meets road. All the work you've done, understanding your role, auditing your board, recruiting talent, and strategic planning comes to life during execution. This is where you see the system you have built in full motion. It can be the most rewarding phase as you watch your board members take the ownership and drive the mission forward in ways you never could alone. But execution requires constant energy and attention. Now that the engine is running, your next challenge is to ensure it doesn't run out of fuel. In the next chapter, we'll focus on how to maintain this momentum and keep the fire burning for the long haul.